The plane jolted as turbulence hit, but Rachel's heart raced not from the shake, but from the venomous glare of the woman who just plopped into her window seat. "This is my spot, you freak," the stranger hissed, her voice dripping with disdain as she spotted Rachel's rainbow pin. In that moment, Rachel knew this flight from New York to San Francisco would be no ordinary journey. It would be a battle for dignity that could change everything. Rachel Thompson clutched her boarding pass tightly as she navigated the crowded aisle of the Boeing 737. The hum of passengers settling in filled the air, a mix of excited chatter and the occasional ding from the overhead bins. She was heading home to San Francisco after a grueling business trip in Manhattan, her mind already drifting to the cozy apartment she shared with her cat, Whiskers, and the stack of unread novels waiting on her nightstand. At 28, Rachel had built a life she was proud of. A successful graphic designer for a progressive ad agency, openly lesbian in a city that embraced diversity. But today, exhaustion weighed on her like a heavy coat. She spotted her seat, 14A, the window she'd specifically chosen for the view of the American heartland sprawling below. As she approached, a middle-aged woman in a crisp blazer and pearl necklace was already seated there, her purse occupying the middle seat like a territorial flag. The woman's name tag from some conference read Karen Hargrove, but Rachel would later learn that wasn't her real name. It was a facade, much like her polished exterior. "Excuse me," Rachel said politely, holding up her pass. "I think you're in my seat." Karen looked up, her eyes narrowing as they landed on Rachel's subtle rainbow enamel pin on her jacket lapel. A flicker of disgust crossed her face, quickly masked by a saccharine smile. "Oh honey, this is first class? No, wait, economy. My mistake. But I'm comfortable here. You can take the aisle." Rachel blinked, taken aback. "No ma'am, this is my assigned seat. 14A window." Karen leaned back, crossing her arms. "Well, I have a bad back and I need the view to relax. You young folks are so entitled these days. Just swap with me." The flight attendant, a harried young man named Jake, hurried over. "Ladies, is there a problem?" Before Rachel could speak, Karen launched into a tirade. "This girl is harassing me. I was here first and she's making a scene because of, well, look at her pin. I don't feel safe sitting next to someone like that." Rachel's cheeks burned. The word "someone like that" hung in the air like poison. Passengers nearby shifted uncomfortably, some whispering. Jake checked the passes and confirmed Rachel's claim, but Karen refused to budge, her voice rising. "I won't move. This is discrimination against traditional values." In the end, to avoid delay, Jake offered Rachel a middle seat a few rows back. Fuming, Rachel gathered her things, her mind reeling. How could this happen in 2026 America, where pride parades filled streets and laws protected equality? As the plane taxied, she glanced back at Karen, who smirked triumphantly, scrolling through her phone, likely some conservative feed reinforcing her biases. But fate had other plans. Midway through the flight, as they soared over the Midwest's patchwork farms, turbulence struck hard. The captain's voice crackled over the intercom. "Folks, we're hitting some rough air. Please remain seated." Rachel gripped her armrests, her new seat neighbor, an elderly gentleman, patting her hand reassuringly. But up ahead, Karen's smugness vanished as the plane dipped sharply. She let out a yelp, her face paling. Rachel watched, a mix of schadenfreude and pity stirring within her. When the shaking subsided, Karen unbuckled and staggered to the lavatory, looking green. On her return, she paused at Rachel's row, her eyes wide. "That was awful. I think I need to talk to someone." Rachel raised an eyebrow. "You okay?" Karen hesitated, then sat in the empty aisle seat beside Rachel. Temporarily, she claimed. "I don't fly well. My husband usually handles this, but he's gone now. Cancer last year." The vulnerability caught Rachel off guard. "I'm sorry to hear that." As the conversation flowed, fueled by the shared adrenaline, Karen revealed bits of her life. A small-town Ohio upbringing, a strict religious family, a career in real estate. "I've always believed in the Bible's teachings," she said softly. "Marriage is between a man and woman. But seeing you with that pin, it scared me. Reminded me of my daughter." Rachel tensed. "Your daughter?" "She's like you. Came out in college. We fought and she left. Haven't spoken in 5 years." Karen's voice cracked, tears welling. In that moment, the homophobic thief transformed into a grieving mother. Rachel's anger softened, replaced by empathy. That must be hard. But love isn't a choice, it's who we are. They talked for hours, the landscape below shifting from plains to mountains. Karen listened as Rachel shared her own story. Coming out at 18, the rejection from her conservative relatives in Texas, but finding chosen family in San Francisco's vibrant queer community. It's not about changing who you are, Rachel said. It's about accepting others. By landing, Karen's walls had cracked. She handed Rachel her business card. Call me if you're ever in Ohio. And, I'm sorry about the seat. Rachel smiled. Apology accepted. Safe travels. But this was just the beginning. Weeks later, Rachel's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. This is Karen. My daughter reached out. Thank you. Rachel stared at the message, a warmth spreading through her. Little did she know, this chance encounter would weave into something deeper, involving a woman named Kennedy who would turn her world upside down. In San Francisco, Rachel threw herself back into work, designing campaigns for LGBTQ+ rights. Her agency was buzzing with a new project, a national ad series promoting inclusivity in travel. The irony wasn't lost on her. One evening at a local cafe in the Castro district, Rachel met Kennedy Reyes, a 30-year-old journalist for a progressive online magazine. Kennedy was striking, dark curls, piercing green eyes, and a laugh that filled the room. They bonded over coffee, sharing stories of their Mexican-American heritage and the challenges of being out in professional worlds. I cover human interest pieces, Kennedy said, sipping her latte. Stories that highlight resilience. What's yours? Rachel recounted the flight incident, omitting names. Kennedy's eyes lit up. That's powerful. Mind if I interview you anonymously? What started as an interview blossomed into dates. Walks along the Golden Gate Bridge, picnics in Golden Gate Park, stolen kisses under the fog-shrouded sky. Kennedy was everything Rachel had dreamed of. Passionate, kind, with a fire for justice that matched her own. But shadows loomed. Kennedy had secrets, ones that would test their budding romance. As weeks turned to months, Rachel and Kennedy's relationship deepened amid the eclectic pulse of San Francisco. They explored the city's hidden gems. Dim sum in Chinatown, jazz clubs in the Fillmore, and quiet evenings watching the sunset from Twin Peaks. Kennedy's apartment in Noe Valley became their sanctuary, filled with books on social activism and photos of her travels. One night over homemade tacos, Kennedy's specialty, Rachel opened up more. That woman on the plane, Karen. She's been texting me. Her daughter's name is Sarah. They're reconciling slowly. Kennedy nodded, but her expression tightened. That's great. Family matters. Rachel sensed hesitation. You okay? Something with your family? Kennedy set down her fork. My parents are traditional. Dad's a pastor in LA. When I came out, it was rough. We talk, but it's surface level. Rachel reached across the table, squeezing her hand. I'm here for you. Their first conflict arose during Pride Month. Rachel's agency was sponsoring the parade, and she invited Kennedy to march with her. It'll be amazing, floats, music, community. Kennedy balked. I love Pride, but as a journalist I need to stay neutral. Covering it, not participating. Rachel felt a sting. Neutral? This is who we are. It's not political, it's personal. The argument escalated, voices rising in the small kitchen. You don't get it, Kennedy snapped. My job depends on objectivity. If I'm seen marching, it could bias my stories. Rachel's eyes flashed. Bias? Loving who I love isn't bias. It's truth. They slept apart that night, the silence heavy. But morning brought apologies, makeup kisses, and a compromise. Kennedy would attend as a spectator, cheering from the sidelines. Yet cracks formed. Kennedy's work took her on frequent trips, covering stories across the country. Rachel noticed the late-night calls, the evasive answers. Who was that? She'd ask. Just a source, Kennedy would reply, changing the subject. Doubt crept in, fueled by Rachel's past heartbreaks. One evening, while Kennedy was in Chicago for a conference, Rachel's phone rang. It was Karen, her voice excited. Rachel, Sarah and I are visiting San Francisco next month. We'd love to meet you. Rachel smiled, a distraction from her worries. That sounds wonderful. When Kennedy returned, Rachel shared the news. Kennedy's reaction was odd. Her face paled. Karen Hargrove? From Ohio. Yeah, why? Kennedy hesitated. I know her. She's my aunt. Rachel's world tilted. What? How? Kennedy sighed, sitting down. My mom's sister. We haven't spoken in years because of family drama. She disowned me when I came out. The revelation hit like a storm. You knew about the flight? Why didn't you say? I didn't connect the dots until now. Rachel, I'm sorry. But the betrayal simmered. Rachel felt manipulated, as if their meeting at the cafe wasn't coincidence. Did you approach me because of her? For a story? Kennedy's eyes widened. No, it was real. I love you. Love, the word hung between them, unspoken until now. Rachel's heart ached, torn between affection and suspicion. They navigated the tension, but the upcoming visit amplified it. Karen and Sarah arrived, and the reunion at a waterfront restaurant was emotional. Karen hugged Rachel tightly. You've changed my life. Sarah, a vibrant 25-year-old artist, beamed. Mom told me about the flight. You're a hero. Kennedy joined reluctantly, the family ties pulling taut. At dinner, old wounds surfaced. Karen addressed Kennedy. I've been wrong. About everything. Can you forgive me? Kennedy's tears flowed. It's not that simple, Aunt Karen. The evening ended in tentative peace, but back home, Rachel confronted Kennedy. You should have told me sooner. I was scared it'd ruin us, Kennedy admitted. Their love persevered, but a bigger storm brewed. Kennedy's magazine assigned her a feature on LGBTQ+ experiences in conservative families. She interviewed Karen and Sarah with their consent, but included details from Rachel's story. Anonymously, she claimed. When the article dropped, Rachel read it with horror. Subtle clues pointed to her. The flight details, the rainbow pin. Friends texted. Is this you? Fury erupted. You used me. 4 clicks. Kennedy defended. It's important journalism. To help others. But at what cost? Our trust. The fight peaked, doors slamming, words like daggers. Kennedy packed a bag, staying with a friend. Rachel wandered the foggy streets, heart shattered. Days blurred into loneliness. Whiskers curled on her lap as she scrolled through photos of happier times. Then a knock. Kennedy eyes read. I messed up. The editor pushed for more drama. I should have protected you. Rachel's walls held. Love needs honesty. They talked through the night, unpacking layers of hurt. Kennedy vowed to pull the article, to prioritize them. Reconciliation came slowly, like dawn over the bay. They attended therapy, rebuilding on firmer ground. But life threw another curve. Karen, inspired by their stories, started a support group in Ohio for parents of LGBTQ+ kids. She invited Rachel and Kennedy to speak at the launch. The trip to the Midwest was a turning point. Amid cornfields and small-town charm, they faced Karen's community, some welcoming, others skeptical. During the event, a heckler shouted slurs. Kennedy stood tall. Hate stole my family once. Not again. Rachel joined her, their hands linked. The room shifted, applause rising. Back in San Francisco, their bond strengthened, but whispers of doubt lingered. Months later, as autumn leaves painted Golden Gate Park in hues of gold and red, Rachel and Kennedy's relationship hit a plateau of comfortable routine. Weekends were spent hiking in Muir Woods, where ancient redwoods whispered secrets of endurance, mirroring their own journey. Rachel's designs flourished, landing her a promotion, while Kennedy's writing shifted toward more personal essays, earning acclaim. Yet, beneath the surface, unresolved tensions simmered. Kennedy's family in LA reached out sporadically, but her father's rigid stance created distance. He wants to meet, Kennedy confided one evening, stirring soup on the stove. But only if we tone it down. Rachel frowned. Tone what down? Us. Exactly. I told him no. Pride swelled in Rachel, but so did concern. Don't shut them out forever. Look at Karen. Karen had become an unlikely ally, visiting often. Her transformation was profound. She volunteered at Pride events, mending fences with Sarah. You two inspire me, she'd say during video calls. But drama struck when Kennedy's ex, Mia, reappeared. A fellow journalist, Mia, emailed about a collaboration. Kennedy mentioned it casually, but Rachel's jealousy flared. You dated for 2 years. Is this wise? It's professional, Kennedy assured. The project required late nights, and Rachel's insecurities grew. One day, scrolling Kennedy's social media, something she swore she'd never do, she saw a photo. Kennedy and Mia at a bar, arms linked, captioned "Old friends, new stories." Heart pounding, Rachel confronted her. What's this? Kennedy explained. Team bonding. Nothing more. But trust fractured. You hid your aunt. Now this. The argument escalated into a full-blown storm. Kennedy stormed out, leaving Rachel in tears. In the quiet aftermath, Rachel sought solace in work. Her latest campaign focused on airline inclusivity, ironically drawing from her flight experience. During a meeting, her boss praised, "This has heart. Personal touch." Rachel nodded, thinking of Kennedy. Meanwhile, Kennedy grappled with guilt. At a coffee shop, she ran into Sarah, who listened empathetically. Mom was like that, hiding truths. But love wins if you fight for it. Inspired, Kennedy planned a surprise. A weekend getaway to Big Sur, where rugged cliffs met crashing waves, symbolizing their turbulent yet beautiful love. She texted Rachel, "Meet me at the airport. Trust me." Rachel hesitated but went. At the gate, Kennedy waited with tickets. No secrets. Just us. The drive down Highway 1 was magical, ocean views, winding roads, stops at vista points. At their cabin, overlooking the Pacific, Kennedy knelt. "Rachel, I've been a fool. Marry me." Tears streamed. "Yes, but we fixed the cracks first." Their engagement brought joy, but challenges persisted. Kennedy's father called, disapproving. "This isn't God's plan." Kennedy stood firm. "It's mine." The wedding planning amplified family drama. Rachel's relatives from Texas declined, citing lifestyle differences. Kennedy's side was mixed. Her mother attended, father absent. Karen stepped in, offering to host a rehearsal dinner in Ohio. "Let me make amends." The trip was a cultural clash. San Francisco progressives meeting Midwest conservatives. At the dinner, tensions boiled when a relative quipped, "So who's the man?" Rachel shot back, "Love doesn't need roles." Kennedy squeezed her hand, proud. But betrayal lurked. Unbeknownst to Rachel, Kennedy had confided in Mia about their issues, seeking advice. Mia, still harboring feelings, twisted words in a leaked email to a mutual friend. The email surfaced days before the wedding. Kennedy doubts if Rachel's the one. Devastated, Rachel packed, fleeing to a hotel. "How could you?" Kennedy chased her. "It's not true. Mia manipulated it. I love you." Proof emerged, Mia's jealous confession. Kennedy cut ties. In the hotel room, they reconciled amid sobs and promises. "No more secrets," Kennedy vowed. The wedding day dawned bright in a Napa Valley vineyard, vines heavy with grapes. Friends and chosen family gathered, Karen walking Kennedy down the aisle, Sarah as maid of honor. Vows exchanged. "Through storms and skies, I choose you." Honeymoon in Hawaii sealed their bliss, but real life awaited. Back home, they faced a crisis. Kennedy's job offered a promotion in New York. "It's my dream," she said. Rachel panicked. "What about us? San Francisco is home." Debate ensued. Long distance? Move together? Rachel's agency had an East Coast branch. "We could both go." But roots tugged. Friends advised. Love adapts. In the end, they chose compromise. 6 months in New York, then reassess. The move was chaotic, packing goodbyes, new apartment in Brooklyn. Rachel adapted, her designs inspired by the city's energy. Yet homesickness hit. One night, overlooking the skyline, Rachel confessed, "I miss the fog." Kennedy held her. "We'll make this our adventure." Their love, forged in conflict, grew resilient. Life in New York pulsed with intensity, a far cry from San Francisco's laid-back vibe. Rachel and Kennedy's Brooklyn brownstone became a haven amid the hustle, subway commutes, Central Park strolls, Broadway shows. Rachel's transfer to the agency's Manhattan office brought new challenges. Tighter deadlines, diverse clients promoting urban inclusivity. Kennedy thrived at her magazine's headquarters, her articles gaining national attention. One piece on family reconciliation inspired by Karen went viral. "You're changing minds," Rachel said proudly over dinner at a cozy Italian spot in the village. But success bred strain. Kennedy's hours lengthened, social events pulling her away. Rachel, feeling isolated, joined a local queer art group, meeting new friends. One, Alex, a charismatic painter, sparked innocent laughs, but Kennedy's jealousy simmered. "Who's Alex?" Kennedy asked one evening, spotting a text. "A friend. We're collaborating on a mural." Kennedy's eyes narrowed. "Just friends." The accusation stung. "After everything, you doubt me?" Echoes of past betrayals resurfaced. They argued, sleeping on opposite sides of the bed. Therapy helped, but external pressures mounted. Karen called with news. Her support group was expanding, but faced backlash from local conservatives. Protests outside meetings. "I need advice." Rachel and Kennedy visited Ohio, standing with Karen at a rally. Chants of hate met signs of love. Kennedy spoke. "Family isn't blood, it's acceptance." A stone thrown grazing Rachel's arm. Chaos ensued, police intervening. Back in New York, the incident shook them. "We can't ignore the hate," Rachel said. Kennedy nodded. "But we fight it together." Their first anniversary approached, planned as a quiet escape to the Hamptons. En route, Kennedy's phone buzzed incessantly. "Work crisis." "Turn it off," Rachel pleaded. "I can't. Deadline." At the beach house, tension exploded. "Work always comes first," Kennedy countered. "You knew my career mattered." Hurt words flew. Kennedy storming to the shore. Rachel followed, waves crashing like their emotions. Under the stars they talked. "I feel lost here," Rachel admitted. Kennedy softened. "Me too sometimes. Let's go home, to San Francisco." The decision lifted weights. They gave notice, packed, returned west. San Francisco welcomed them like an old friend. Fog rolling in, cable cars clanging. Their No Valley apartment felt right. But transition brought surprises. Kennedy's father, moved by her articles, reached out. "I want to understand." A tentative lunch in LA. Awkward but hopeful. "I'm proud of you," he said, voice cracking. Rachel's family remained distant, but chosen ones filled the gap. Then a plot twist. Karen revealed she was moving to California. To be closer to Sarah. And you too. The reunion was joyous. A backyard barbecue with laughter echoing. Yet, drama never fully faded. Kennedy discovered Mia had been spreading rumors online, tarnishing her reputation. Confrontation via video. "Why Mia?" "Jealousy. You chose her." Kennedy blocked her, focusing forward. Rachel and Kennedy decided to start a family. Adoption process began, navigating bureaucracy with determination. Highs and lows. Applications rejected, then approved. They prepared a nursery, hearts full. During this, Rachel's health scare. A lump detected. Tests, anxiety-filled waits. Kennedy never left her side. "We're in this." Benign relief washed over. The experience deepened their bond, emphasizing life's fragility. As they awaited their child, a girl named Hope, reflections abounded. "From a stolen seat to this," Rachel mused. Kennedy smiled. "Love's journey." Karen became grandma figure, her transformation complete. Conflicts resolved, betrayals forgiven. Their story embodied resilience. In the quiet moments, Rachel often thought back to that fateful flight. The homophobic passenger, once a villain, had become family. Karen's lesson wasn't just taught. It was lived, rippling outward. One evening, as they sat on their balcony overlooking the bay, Kennedy turned to Rachel. "Thank you for teaching me too. About trust, forgiveness." Rachel kissed her. "We teach each other." Their life, though imperfect, was rich with emotion, romance, and humanity. A testament to love's power in America's diverse tapestry. But wait, the story continues toward its climax. As adoption neared, a final betrayal emerged. Kennedy's colleague, envious of her success, leaked old emails twisting context to suggest infidelity. The scandal hit headlines, threatening their jobs and adoption. Rachel stood by her. "We'll fight." Investigations cleared Kennedy, but damage lingered. In the fallout, they leaned on community protests, support rallies. Triumph came, Adoption finalized, hope arriving, a bundle of joy. Karen hosted a welcome party, tears flowing. That seat thief started it all, Karen joked. Rachel laughed. Best lesson ever. Their family complete, love prevailed. With hope in their arms, Rachel and Kennedy's world transformed. The cries at 2 a.m., the first smiles, the tiny hands grasping theirs. It was a love deeper than they'd imagined. San Francisco's community embraced them. Playdates in the park, advice from other queer parents. Karen, now settled nearby, babysat often. Grandma duties, she'd say, her Ohio accent softening with California sun. But life's drama persisted subtly. Hope's biological background brought questions. Her mother, a young woman from a conservative town, had chosen adoption for a better life. One day a letter arrived. The biomom wanted contact. Kennedy hesitated. What if it disrupts everything? Rachel reassured. We decide together. For Hope. They met her, Lila, 22, tearful. I just want to know she's okay. Boundaries set. A healthy connection formed. Lila became an extended family member, her story mirroring themes of acceptance. Professionally, Rachel launched her own design firm, specializing in inclusive branding. Kennedy wrote a book, Seats of Change, chronicling their journey from the flight onward. It became a bestseller, inspiring readers nationwide. Reviews praised, a raw romantic tale of love conquering hate. Touring together, they spoke at events from TEDx in Austin to panels in D.C. In one Q&A, a young lesbian asked, "How do you handle betrayal?" Rachel replied, "With empathy. Everyone's fighting battles." Kennedy added, "And love fierce, unyielding." Back home, anniversaries were celebrated grandly. For their 5th, a vow renewal on the Golden Gate Bridge at sunrise, fog lifting like veils. Friends toasted to resilience. As years passed, Hope grew into a spirited teen, aware of her mom's story. "You're heroes," she'd say, rolling eyes affectionately. Conflicts arose. Teen rebellion, school bullies echoing old hates. But they navigated with open hearts. One high point. Kennedy's father visited, holding Hope. "I was wrong," he admitted. Reconciliation bloomed. Rachel's family followed suit, a Christmas gathering mending old wounds. The narrative's climax came during a national crisis, a surge in anti-LGBTQ+ legislation. Rachel and Kennedy rallied, organizing marches in D.C. Amid crowds, chants rising, they stood hand in hand. A counter-protester shouted slurs, reminiscent of the flight. Kennedy addressed the mic. "Hate stole a seat once. It won't steal our rights." Applause thundered. Their efforts contributed to policy shifts, bills defeated. In quieter times, they reflected on the human element. Karen, now in her 70s, wrote letters. "You taught me love's boundless." The story's end wasn't tidy. Life isn't. Betrayal scarred but healed stronger. On a cross-country flight years later, Rachel in a window seat, Kennedy beside her, Hope asleep across. A familiar face boarded. Sarah, now with her own family. Smiles exchanged. As the plane soared over America's vastness, Rachel whispered, "From one seat to a lifetime." Kennedy kissed her. Our lesson: love endures. In this tapestry of drama, emotion, romance, and humanity, their lesbian love story stood as a beacon, proof that even in division, connection prevails. Not always happy endings, but meaningful ones, rich with growth. The American dream redefined. Not perfection, but progress through love. As Hope pursued her dreams, art school inspired by Rachel, they watched proudly. Karen passed peacefully, her legacy living on. In her will, "To Rachel, the woman who taught me, keep flying high." Tears but gratitude. Rachel and Kennedy, graying but vibrant, traveled, advocated. Their story, once a stolen seat, became legend, whispered in cafes, shared in books. A reminder: in America's melting pot, love's fire melts even the coldest hearts. Enduring, human, profound.